In this video, we will go over the introduction to limits, a basic for calculus. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Numerics with Nadia, and let's get into our lesson objectives for today. First off, we want to understand the basic concept of a limit. We're going to do this by using a table of values to estimate limits. And then the third and most important part is how to use limit notation. This is going to be the first to a series of videos on the basics of calculus. As you guys can see here, if you comment below any type of question or topic you need help with, I will do those videos for you guys. So please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and comment any questions or any video topics you would like to see down below. And now that we've covered our introduction to the video, let's get into our lesson. Let's start off with the definition of a limit. A limit describes what value a function gets closer to as the input gets closer to some number. Now, what does this look like? We have our limit notation right here. So the way we would write our limit notation is the abbreviation LIM. As x approaches a, that's what the x arrow a means, of f of x. So the limit as x approaches a of f of x equals some number. What does this mean? As x gets closer to a, the value of the function will get closer to the limit, or capital L. The x arrow a means x approaches a specific value, but does not need to equal a. It's just as it gets closer and closer to a. F of x is the function whose behavior we're analyzing. L is the value of f of x as x approaches a, and the key idea here is that the limit describes the behavior of a function near a point, not necessarily at that point, just as it approaches that point. Now that we've looked at the definition of a limit and its notation, let's get into a few practice problems just to demonstrate what we've learned. The directions say to use the table of values to estimate the limit of each function as x approaches a specific number. So first off, looking at example 1, let's learn how to read these. The limit as x approaches 2 of x squared plus 1. So we're looking at our value of 2, that's what we're approaching, and we're going to be approaching it from two sides. We're going to be approaching it from values less than 2, which are values from the left, and we're going to be approaching it from values greater than 2, that means approaching it from the right. Looking at the values approaching it from the left, the smallest value is 1.9, and when we plug in 1.9, we get 4.61. When we plug in 1.99, which is getting closer to 2, we get 4.9601. And when we plug in 1.999, we end up getting 4.996 and change. Now looking at the values from the right, when we plug in 2.1, we have 5.41. When we plug in 2.01, we get 5.0401. And then 2.001, we get 5.004 and change. So now we can see as we approach it from the left and from the right, the limit as x approaches 2 of x squared plus 1, it's getting closer and closer to 5. So that would be our answer for example 1. Now looking at example 2, let's read through it. The limit as x approaches 3 of 2x minus 4. We're looking at our 3 here. We have values less than 3 and values greater than 3. When we look, approaching it from both the left and the right, we see that our values are getting closer and closer to 2. So the limit as x approaches 3 of 2x minus 4 would give us 2. Now we will move on to our third and final example for today. Looking at example 3, it says the limit as x approaches 5 of x plus 0.5. So we're looking at our 5 here. We're going to be plugging into our table of values, values that are less than 5, and we're also going to be plugging in values that are greater than 5. When we compare the values, as we approach 5 from both the left and from the right, we see that these values are getting closer and closer to 5.5. So the limit as x approaches 5 of x plus 0.5 would just give us 5.5. That is the answer to our last example. These were very straightforward examples. We're just using a table of values and comparing the limit from the left and from the right. I hope you guys enjoyed this introductory video. We will do more videos on limits and more videos on the basics of calculus. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it, comment any questions or any other video topics you would like to see down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with a friend, and I will see you guys next time.